Disney's revealed details about magic bands coming this fall. They've also filed a ride patent for what looks to be a new spin on 3D rides. Avengers Campus e-ticket, ? Eudora's Chic Boutique has opened a new one at Square. And WDW News Today has a rumor about the future of Tarzan's Treehouse. All coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked, and I've got news about magic bands. Disney said they were coming by the end of the year in their last update, and now we know they're going to be here by this fall. And thanks to their last update, we now know everything that they'll be able to do and how much they'll cost. Actually, first, these are going to be Magic Band Plus. That's the latest iteration of Magic Bands. It's the version they just recently released at Walt Disney World, where they have been using Magic Bands for years. For those new to the idea of Magic Bands, if you're not entirely sure what they are wearables. You put them on your wrist, and you can use them in lieu of things like your ticket or scanning into a lightning lane. In fact, here's a handy graphic. As I mentioned, you can use the Magic Band instead of the app to scan into the park. Once you sync your Magic Band to your app, it acts as your ticket. I should say it replaces the barcode of your ticket. So when you walk through the turnstiles, all you have to do is show them your band, and they scan that, and you don't have to fish out your phone. You may have heard us talk about the Batu Bounty Hunter experience at Galaxy's Edge. That's something that's also happening already at the Magic Kingdom. You need a Magic Band to participate in this. It's used as sort of a getting warmer, getting colder kind of thing to help you find the bounties. We'll be testing this out for sure. Options to adjust LED lights, haptic vibrations, and gesture recognition. The lights and haptic vibrations, as I understand it, are useful for those who have seeing or hearing disabilities. As for gesture recognition, I know at Walt Disney World, guests can use gestures to interact with the Fab 50 statues around the park. We don't have any interactive statues here at Disneyland. We don't have anything interactive, I think, at all, really. At least nothing that's been built and ready to go for a Magic Band, with the exception of Batu Bounty Hunter. So I'm not sure that we're ready for that element of the Magic Bands just yet. You can link your Magic Band to your PhotoPass. Obviously, this is very useful for fans of the PhotoPass service because, again, fishing out your barcode from your app every time you get a picture taken can be, well, that's stressful because you feel like you're holding everybody up. So it'd be nice to be able to do that. And for those using GD Plus and Lightning Lane, once again, just flash your Magic Band at the scanner. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen this picture, right? So for the first time in years, this can be you at Disneyland. One problem with this is that, unfortunately, you still have to use your phone to book that Lightning Lane. You can't book anything with the Magic Bands. You can't book a mobile order with the Magic Bands either. So there's still going to be plenty of opportunity for you to be in your phone rather than using the Magic Band, unfortunately. The update from Disney also adds that your Magic Band will dazzle during special moments during nighttime spectaculars. I am almost certain this will be completely ignored by the typical guest. I don't know how many of us are going to be looking at our wrist while we're watching World of Color. I'll be watching World of Color. It also makes me think of Glow with Your Show. You guys all remember that, right? They tried to do the Glow with Your Show thing where you had the ears and they would light up a lot in synchronization with World of Color. That you can watch the ears do their thing from a distance and still watch the World of Color, but that did not go over very well at all. Went over like a lead balloon, mostly because people didn't want to pay for it. Not enough people bought it in order for it to become a visual element to the show. I'm just not sure if anybody's going to be doing this while I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to work, but hey, they went for it. Size adjustable, waterproof, and chargeable with the cable that comes with the band. They'll come in a bunch of different colors, I'm sure. Eventually, like Walt Disney World, we'll see themed Magic Bands as well. These are going to run from $35 to $45, though I don't know what it is about them that makes the price vary between those two numbers. That's just the number that I heard, $35 to $45. Personally, I'll be getting one of these only to test it and maybe give it a chance to win me over, but I'm not a big fan. I'm the biggest fan of Magic Bands, but I guess if it keeps us off our phone, even just not completely or totally, but at least some of the time, that's a good thing. Stay tuned to Fresh Baked. We're going to test those things just as soon as they come out. I know a lot of you are excited about this, and that makes me happy that you guys are going to be able to get something that you have been wanting for many years after, like I said before, watching Walt Disney World enjoy Magic Bands for years. In other news, Eudora's Chic Boutique opened up yesterday. For over a year now, the old Le Baton Rouge gift shop in New Orleans Square has been closed. In fact, it never opened when the parks did. But soon after the parks opened, some cryptic signs were put up in the window promising something new in the future in this space. Many thought it could be food service because, the sign said gumbo. We haven't yet been to the park since it opened, so we don't have any video, but Disney provided these photos with the announcement, and I have to say, it looks amazing in there. Right off the bat, one of the things I love most about the location is how open and roomy it is inside, which is something that they've been doing more of lately. It's not cramped with merch. And it does look like there's a fair chance it will be land and ride specific, not generic, Disneyland Emporium level stuff. That's the best part about shopping at New Orleans Square is that many of the shops are like that. They're very unique, very, specific to that environment. You get things there that you can't get anywhere else in the park. Meanwhile, the production design is outstanding. Not at all cheap. You can see that they had completely gutted the old shop and built this thing from scratch, almost, I'm sure. Beautifully done. Loving the tile floors, the colorful and unique-looking lamps, brass kitchenware hanging from the ceilings. That's a nice touch. By the way, that's the theme of the shop, mostly. Stuff for your kitchen. Though I'm certain that's not all there will be in terms of what you can buy, but that's the theme anyway. For now, it's a cooking theme shop. You can even buy a cookbook from Leah Chase, a real Creole chef based out of New Orleans who passed in 2019. From what little I've seen so far, I love this place. Hopefully it's able to keep this unique style and aesthetic and avoid the homogenization that we've seen in shops like Pioneer Mercantile that I saw at one point was selling Buzz Lightyear bubble wands. That is not a joke. That actually happened. Which segues nicely to our next story where Frontierland and Buzz Lightyear have nothing in common. Neither do New Orleans Square and a new patent for 3D ride technology. I'm going to do my best to give you the basics on this because, well, first, it's mostly dry, and also because I am at no point an engineer, so I'm not exactly the authority on how this stuff works. But the gist of the patent appears to show that Disney has found a way to deliver a ride using 3D images, but without 3D glasses. 3D tech works by combining two images into one. It's the glasses that do it. They combine the two images into one. Without the glasses, your eyes see both images separately, making them look blurry. With the glasses on, the images are combined, giving the effect of adding depth to a single image. This new patent appears to be making the actual ride vehicle the glasses, to put it plainly. They use a beam splitter, and that's where I'm lost, but I trust them. I trust that that's how it's going to work. The question is, for the purposes of this video, is this the ride tech that Josh D'Amaro and Kevin Feige were talking about at D23 when they were talking about the new Avengers Campus e-ticket that they were working on? Certainly what they were talking about is screen-based, and certainly it's going to be 3D. I don't see how there's any chance that it wouldn't be. But the vehicle shown in the concept art didn't really look like anything that could resemble the image in this patent. The ride vehicle in that concept art is 4 wide and 3 deep. It's a car, like Rise of the Resistance. This tech looks like it needs every guest to be sitting behind a 3D glass surface. So I'm not sure how that works for the guests in the second and third row of that vehicle in the concept art. I mean, I guess the answer is it can't. That vehicle that's in the concept art could not work in the same way that the ride vehicle is being shown in the 3D patent. Now, granted, obviously, that's just concept art, and I know that drawings or renderings in a patent can often be, primitive, crude, but if I were a betting man, I would be betting no. This is not the ride tech that we're going to be seeing at the Avengers Campus e-ticket someday. Where do you guys think they could be using it? What kind of applications do you think would fit for this type of ride tech? Actually, the first one that came to mind for me was web slingers. It's almost like web slingers. Too bad they're a little late on that. Okay, last story is a rumor posted by WDW News Today. They've got a rumor about the possible future of Tarzan's Treehouse. And it's a fun one. I like this rumor very much because they're proposing that it's possible that Disney may be retheming Tarzan's Treehouse to the SEA, Society of Explorers and Adventurers. For those new to the SEA, it is a backstory that they came up with many years ago for Fortress Explorations at Tokyo Disney Sea, but then became more well-known at Mystic Manor. Lord Henry Mystic was a member of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. Membership has expanded over the years and now include Harrison Hightower, Tower of Terror, Barnabas T. Bullion, Big Thunder, and Dr. Albert Falls, who we all know from the Jungle Cruise. Also, Dr. Kon Chunasuke from the Jungle Cruise. Speaking of which, right next door to the Jungle Cruise at Tropical Hideaway, there is an homage to some of the members of SEA. These oars, they've all got badges noting specific members, which takes us to Tarzan's Treehouse. Being this close to both the Jungle Cruise and Tropical Hideaway, it now puts us right in the middle of a lot of SEA activity or history. Actually, while we're at it, right next door, Indiana Jones Adventure. You know Jock from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the pilot who flies Indiana Jones to safety in that opening scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark? He's SEA as well. So it does make sense. Well, at least I should say it fits. There's a lot of, like I said, SEA references in Adventureland already. Tropical Hideaway, Indiana Jones, and Jungle Cruise all have references, be that, degrees of separation references, to Society of Explorers and Adventurers. It would also make sense, perhaps, that this might be one of the reasons why it has been taking them so long to update the treehouse. We know the tree closed rather unexpectedly about a year ago, and we know it was idle. They weren't doing anything with it for quite a while. And perhaps it's true that at one point Disney was planning to make this an Encanto-themed treehouse. But perhaps it's possible that the luster of Encanto has worn off just a bit, and Disney's trying to come up with a new theme, a new idea for the treehouse, particularly when you understand or know that they are working on a Society of Explorers and Adventurers project for Disney+. A show is coming to Disney+ for SEA, which, by the way, I am very excited about. I love this idea of a universe that combines all of these different, parks and lands together like this. I feel like it's great. You've got, like I said, you've got the 3 references in Adventureland. There's one in Big Thunder, although it's more at Disney World, Magic Kingdom. The Barnabas T. Bullion, which is, by the way, obviously Tony Baxter. But I understand you can actually see that portrait kind of vaguely in Big Thunder in one of the rooms. I can't remember. I went to the panel, D23. I went to the SEA panel, and somebody mentioned there, and I haven't been able to vet this yet, but that portrait of Barnabas T. Bullion does exist somewhere at Big Thunder in Disneyland. Anyway, can I just say, Disney, if you're watching, this is infinitely better, for me anyway, than any kind of Encanto theme. You're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I mean, Encanto kind of fits, but really, any IP that you're trying to make fit into a land, I don't like it very much. I wish they didn't. Meanwhile, this grew out of a park. This aligns with the ideas that I've been saying for years now, that you make the land, you make the attraction the IP. You make the attraction a star, not the IP that it's using, but the actual attraction, and then grow an IP around it, like they did for Pirates of the Caribbean, like they tried to do with Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise and Space Mountain. I think that this could really, really be great. I really do. And it's like I said, I would much rather they do this than try to just squeeze in Encanto in a treehouse. By the way, they're not going to do it justice. It's not going to be good. They're not going to give it the budget or make it look wonderful enough as the tree in Encanto does. Looks wonderful. Colors and lights, it looks beautiful. They're not going to give it the budget and attention that to make it look great. But they can make SEA work on a budget at Tarzan's Treehouse. Makes much more sense to me. Let us know, though, Fresh Baked. Let me know your thoughts. Do you even know what SEA is? Do you care about SEA? If you don't know anything about it, I suggest go watch Offhand Disney. He's done a bunch of videos on the topic. He will bring you into the fold. Otherwise, follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked